Most of us think of PLA as the cheap, easy to use filament, but what if I told you that there's something even cheaper and it doesn't even stick to PLA and it prints just as fast, if not even faster? Well, that is where Polymaker's COPE comes into play. And today I want to show you what it is, why it's different, and why you might want to keep a spool of it around. So first off, what exactly is COPE? Well, COPE stands for copolyester. It's not PLA, and it doesn't behave like PLA, although it is very similar in printing temperatures and what it can handle heat-wise. Right now, you can grab a spool of black COPE for just $11.49 right off Polymaker's website, which is actually cheaper than most PLA spools. That alone makes it interesting, but the real magic comes from how it interacts with PLA. Or more accurately, how it doesn't interact with PLA. COPE doesn't want to stick to PLA at all. That might sound like a downside, but it's actually what makes it useful. Because they don't bond, you can use COPE as a dedicated support filament for PLA, instead of having to deal with PETG. Instead of dealing with fused supports that ruin your surface finish, COPE supports peel right off. So much in fact, that when I went to go remove this from the build plate as a little test, it immediately separated. So in order to show just how well this doesn't adhere to PLA, I printed this in PLA and there's an interface layer of COPE. So watch how easy this just separates. Bam. The support's still here. Something to note real quick here on this bottom area of where the support was is that it didn't do a very good job only because of the way the tree supports did it. It only did the outside. It didn't actually do anything for the middle. If you look on the outer areas, it looks really good. Ignore the middle part. That's just a slicer issue, I feel like. Think of it as an alternative to using PETG as a breakaway support because this is quite a bit cheaper. There is something to keep in mind is that if you're going to be doing stuff like this, you are going to need an AMS, an Ace Pro, or a FlashForge 85X like I have in the back here. Now, it's just not budget friendly, it's fast. Polymaker rates this to go up to 400 millimeters per second, which means you can really push it on the high-speed machines like the Bamboo Lab printers and still get some reliable results. Now here's the kicker. You don't need a special profile. In your slicer, just select PLA. COPE prints roughly the same way, which makes it easy to drop into your existing workflow. All right, let's talk about some results, because this is where COPE really proves itself. You don't have to use it just as a support material. It does print really beautifully. So much in fact, I might actually start buying this for my son for his prints because it's cheaper and it looks just as good, if not better. Now I printed these all on different machines, but these are all Polymaker COPE filament. This is the black, the blue, and the red. Now they all printed beautifully with the exception of the red. Unfortunately, the support fell off on the ear while it was printing. But other than that, it printed out beautifully. The surface finish on these are great. I actually really like these. All the colors are gorgeous. They have a great sheen to them. They're not overly glossy, but yet they still kind of look a little matte. I really like them. This was printed on the Elegoo Centauri Carbon, and this was printed on my Bamboo Lab A1. As you can see, the detail is perfect with these. They printed out beautifully. And I wanted to print them on different machines just to see if I could find any differences. I think the blue might just be my favorite. It's kind of an electric blue. I think it just looks great. The red is also really nice. I do wish that the support hadn't failed on the Elegoo Centauri Carbon, but it is what it is. It's still printed out gorgeously. Now I did print some Gridfinity bins, are nice tests of what this is capable of. There is some bendy to it on these, which I think is just, it's a very thin wall on this. But overall, it printed beautifully. The red was having issues on the Elegoo Centauri Carbon for some reason. I was getting some issues here on the surface finish. I think it might have a partial clog. I'll have to take a look at that. But other than that, this printed great. The surface finish on the black is just how I like it. It's almost like a slight gloss, but mostly matte. A few more little fun things, some Zoo 3Ds, a Benchy. Just some stuff to really test it. The Benchy printed out great. There's tons of detail on the bottom, lots of detail on the back. It just looks great. Some more little fun figures here, a Zoo 3D, Flexies. They all printed great. Now, as we can see, these all printed great. They look amazing. I have no problem using this filament in the future, especially with it being cheaper. Like I said, I'm probably gonna start ordering it for my son so he can start printing with this instead of some PLA. But there are a couple things you need to know about if you do try printing this. Like I said before, don't try to combine this with PLA unless you're gonna use it as a support interface. Otherwise, your prints are just gonna fail. Something else to note here is that the copolyester filament doesn't play nice with textured PEI build plates. If you print it on this, you might have a really hard time getting it off and you could potentially damage your build plate. What I used to print everything was my Cryo Grip from BQ and also my Bamboo Lab Super Tack build plate. I had no issues getting them off of these and they didn't damage the plate or anything. So if you are gonna use something, these are some good options. And remember, this could replace PLA, but don't try to combine it with PLA. It will not stick to each other. So that's Polymaker COPE. Cheaper than PLA at just $11.49. It's able to print at speeds up to 400 millimeters per second, and it looks great. And you can even use it as a support material for PLA, which means you don't have to tweak anything in your slicer. Just run it as PLA and you're good to go. For me, it'll become one of those filaments I always keep on hand. Not because I'll print everything with it, but because when I need easy, clean supports, nothing else does the job quite like COPE. In fact, I think it might even do better than PETG in my opinion. So what do you think? Would you keep a spool of COPE around for supports or just straight up regular printing? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let me know if you've already tried it. And let me know how it works for you. And if you're interested in this build plate, you can check out this video right here where I did a review on it. This is Adam from the Rad Dad Print Lab, and I'll see you next time.